right?
Yeah.
The thing ends. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And this little imp, Peter Rosenberg, within seconds calls up Andrew Gunling and said, "You can't believe what my two lunatic co-hosts just did on a Zoom call." Couldn't wait to tell Andrew and called us lunatics and lowlifes.
No.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
I don't think
You don't believe that's all true. Excuse me? Do you believe that's all true?
Lunatics, maybe, but yeah.
Low lives? No.
Andrew, did he say
Absolutely
lowlife?
not. No, but the rest of that is true. He called me probably, I don't know when it ended, but it seemed like within seconds.
It was within 10 minutes.
Why? Why did you feel you had to share it with Andrew?
Well, two things. One, I was walking to go look at an apartment, and I was walking with Bear, so I thought, why not call Andrew? Number two, we had to figure out if we were doing the podcast last night. And number three, I had to share this great moment with someone who would appreciate it.
Unbelievable.
Now, did you take a side, or would you just lump us both together and
Ask
say
Andrew.
we both acted like
Andrew,
children?
how would you say I described it?
Well, kind of neutral, because in terms of taking a side, you were on Michael's side, I think, in terms of the actual argument that was being had.
Right.
But
yes.
I also think that you were understanding of the place that Don went to. Maybe not like the degree that he got to in terms of rage, but like why he would be frustrated. It seemed like you also understood that element of it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
So it sounded like a fair
It was a fair
conversation.
breakdown.
He called us lunatic lowlifes, and you're okay with that?
Again,
Well,
it's not true. Just simply not true.
I mean, I like to tell a great story when if something were to happen. I listen. To be honest with you, if I were in Peter's shoes,
Yep.
I might have done the same thing. If I had things to talk about with Andrew to begin with.
No, this was the sole purpose of the
it
No,
call.
he
wasn't.
just said it wasn't. They had to
he's
work out the time
lying.
for the podcast.
Why do you believe everything he says and nothing I say?
Well, ask Andrew. Andrew, were there other things talked about besides
I mean,
that?
we did mention about the Drop Madness podcast, but the call was made because of the insanity that had just gone on in this
Thank
meeting.
you for being honest for once.
Both can be true.
All right, so they voted. You know, you saw during the All-Star weekend, the top 75 players of all time in the NBA, and Kyrie Irving not being on that list borders on criminal, which leads us into this 98.7 ESPN Hoops update. Brought to you by London Jewelers. Join London Jewelers for their annual wedding band event March 24th through March 27th. Enjoy 20% off all wedding bands. For locations and to make an appointment, visit 2bylondon.com. He scored a 60-piece. 60-piece. Now, the Magic are terrible.
Oh, my God, they gave up.
I mean, they're awful. But he's a 6'2" guard that could score at will amongst trees. He is one of the best players who's ever played basketball. The only thing that has played against him is the injuries and, you know, his personal issues where he just steps away for a while. You know, he's a handful. And maybe he hasn't played enough to be considered for the top 75. He's top 75, baby. You cannot name me 75 guys that have played NBA basketball that are better than this guy. He is absolutely magical on the court. He's magical on the court. It's amazing how good he is. And it's like poetry in motion. And remember one thing. He scored 41 and a half at the half. He had 60, and there was 7 minutes remaining. And Steve Nash took him out because, you know, why risk him getting hurt? It's not like Steve Nash is Tom Thibodeau. So he did take him out. And the bottom line is that was the smart thing to do, and he set the all-time net scoring record. It's not like he was going to get 100 points anyway. He might have gotten 81. You never know. But, boy, if you watch that game, and I watched a lot of that game. In fact, I watched most of it. He is great. He's great. That's why you put up with all the nonsense that goes along with the phenomenon of Kyrie Irving. He's unbelievable. And that's why the only thing I think that could stop the Nets from getting out of the East and going to the NBA Finals is the mandate. Because if he plays alongside Kevin Durant, even if Ben Simmons doesn't come back, they got as good a chance of anybody to win.
How about this? Let's go further. Not only is he top 75, how high is he? He honestly, guys, he could be top 35. He's insane. He's really is insane.
And you can't even use the excuse hasn't played long enough. He's played as long as Dame Lillard has played. He's better than Lillard. Lillard was on the top 75.
It is interesting that Lillard was on it and not him. It's very strange.
Now was it Did they get caught up in they wanted everybody that was alive to be there, and then Kyrie couldn't be there because he was unvaccinated? I don't know, or they didn't think he'd show up, but that shouldn't be the reason. If he's one of the top 75 players, forget about his politics, forget about everything else, then he deserves to be there.
It's interesting that he wasn't. He's so good.
Again, I don't want to wax poetic because, I personally don't like his whole act, but boy, is he great. He's just so great. I can't even understand that when he's playing, why the Nets ratings on Yes are as low as they are. This guy is a thrill a minute to watch.
Yeah, but you know how it is in sports, Michael. Maybe not in the NBA. The NBA is the one sport where people follow the stars. But, Knicks fans aren't going to care. And there's a lot of people that just don't like Kyrie. So even though he's thrilling to watch, they probably don't want to watch him. They don't want to be captivated by him because they don't like him.
I don't like him, and I want to be captivated by him.
I know, but
you're able to separate.
You're an outlier, though.
And I'm a lunatic and a lowlife.
No,
not what I said.
I don't know where lowlife comes. It's one of the worst things you can say about somebody.
I would never
throw it out there.
Lowlife.
If there was somebody in front of me, I might have snapped their neck.
I'm not beating up on you because I think you're genuine about it. But you're an outlier as far as your love for the Nets. As somebody that isn't, quote-unquote, a Net fan.
No, I don't love the Nets, but I love watching great you get a chance to watch two of the best players of all time if you watch them.
Also, what a beautiful broadcast on Yes.
It is a great broadcast.
Damn right.
No matter who you have,
Iron Eagle's in the top 2 NBA broadcasters alive right now. Mike Breen's first, Iron Eagle's second.
And if you get a Rucco game, there's nothing wrong with that either.
And if you get a Grady game like last night, there's nothing wrong with that. And you get Sarah Kustok and Richard Jefferson. It's a dream.
That must have stunk for Ian last night. He missed a gym.
Well, I don't think I know Rucco was texting me during the game. He was probably pulling his chin hair out. He was so upset he missed that game.
But he's not a likable guy.
Who, Ryan?
Who, Rucco?
No, Kyrie.
I
didn't know we were going to now extend this into a broadcasting seminar. But he's not a likable guy on a team that's not very likable.
I don't think it's that he's not a likable guy. He has things about he has moments that he's had that turn off a certain segment of the population.
Right. Well, that makes him unlikable to those people.
How about polarizing?
All right, but however you say it, there are people that do not want to root for him to do well.
True.
And there's people that don't want to root for the Brooklyn Nets to do well. And in a city where we line up with our allegiances, you're not going to get a Knicks fan to all of a sudden start watching Net games and be captivated by Kyrie. They're probably not even wanting to turn them on because of how good the team has been playing and how good Kyrie is. Just irritates a Knicks fan where they probably don't turn it on. And in a city that 90% of the fans are Knicks fans, it kind of puts them in a weird spot. And I don't want this to become a referendum. Oh, the Nets don't have any fans. They have fans, and their fans are passionate. But it is just kind of an odd scenario where you've got a team that's got so many great storylines and such a great player, but I'm not surprised the ratings aren't great because this city's allegiance is with the Knicks. And to use Peter's words, their best player right now, or a guy that was on fire last night, and Kyrie, is just too polarizing to get people to care.
Well, if they saw that yesterday, it's hard to take your eyes off the screen. It just is. That's how great he was. I think I tweeted when he had 40 points. I said, you might want to turn on Yes, and it turned out to be worthwhile. He broke Darren Williams' record all time. Just an amazing player. Now, whether or not he plays, it's going to be up to Eric Adams. And Eric Adams is not giving an inch, kids. He's not. The mayor of New York City is being very, very strict about this. This is what he said today about lifting the mandate.
It was unfair for the city to state that players who come from outside the city and are not vaccinated can play, and those who are on New York City sports teams are not allowed to play. It's not with private businesses. And we're going to continue to peel back. But let's be clear. Everyone is focusing on the sports area. They're focusing on one person. I'm focused on 9 million people. We are here. The NBA has a season because of mandates. They didn't have to cancel their season because we had mandates in place. We are here where our schools are open, where businesses are open. Our city is not being closed down. Our hospitals are not being overrun. This is why we're here. And so I'm not looking at one person. I'm looking at my city not closing down again, not having to deal with this crisis again. We're going to peel back like we did with the key to NYC, like we did with children. We're going to continue to do so. But I'm not going to be rushed in based on a season schedule. I'm going to do this right for the people of this city. And I'm not focusing on one individual. I'm focusing on 9 million.
And so when he's talking one individual, he's obviously talking about Kyrie.
Right.
Yep. But now the baseball teams are also involved. I think the health of the city is the most important thing. But these rules don't make sense. He's got to see that they don't make sense.
I don't.
And he has said that they don't make sense, right, Peter?
He has, but it also seems it just seems murky. I mean, like, listen, I don't hate that statement. Yes, we didn't get the 100% clear answer though. But explain why this rule makes sense. We didn't get that, but I did think his statement there was strong. That when you really stop it, it's hard to worry about basketball.
He's trying to make his city, healthy. Kyrie's in the building. Here's two things that they could do. Not allow the visiting player that's unvaccinated to play. Then it makes a little bit more sense. It makes a little bit more sense. But if Kyrie's in the building, why can't he be playing? That's where it doesn't make sense. And another thing I would say, Eric Adams said it doesn't make sense. If Silver says it doesn't make sense, then let the Nets pay the fine. Let them pay the fine. Because if you're saying it doesn't make sense, and I know what you're going to say, Don, it's a bad look to people that don't have money. Well, you know what? Joe Tsai is a multi-billionaire. He does have the money. He's paying $80 million over the salary tax to get this team a championship. And if it cost him $40,000 in fines for a rule that doesn't make sense right now, then they should just say, pay the fine. The NBA should tell them, pay the fine.
But I don't think the NBA would let him do it.
Why?
Because I don't think the NBA wants that on their ledger, that they're using their money and their power over people that don't have the money and don't have the power. They're not going to want that to be out there. All right? And the other thing in play here, guys, is that you control what you can control. All right? He can't control an Atlanta Hawk and stop him from playing at Madison Square Garden the way he can stop somebody who's a New York resident or somebody that plays in New York to stop. So he's stopping what he can stop. And we talked about this yesterday. By trying to build up the economy and open up, well, how do you stop Kyrie from going in the building when he can sit next to somebody else who's also unvaccinated because you've lifted those mandates?
Right.
So sometimes there's crossover. So he's trying to control what he can control. But again, I keep looking at, I read an article today that the new variant is now in the tri-state area. So let's say you lifted the mandate, Michael. How would that look that, God forbid, 2 weeks from now, we now have another huge spike? And now we've elevated the level from low to high, and all the mandates go back in place again because we have another spike. Are you going to pull those players off the field in the court?
Yeah, if you lift the mandates and then you have to put them down again. Well, you can do that, though. Here's the biggest problem I think that he has, and it's a political animal problem. There are 1,400 people that lost their jobs. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to lift the mandate for sports teams? Those 1,400 people are going to picket.
Yeah,
and they have every right. And they can't get their jobs back because those jobs have been filled.
And you could understand that being awkward.
More than awkward. It'd be politically damaging for him.
Yep.
But I spoke to a lot of people after the show last night. I don't think there's anybody in New York baseball that's worried that it's going to be going on April 7th. No one. Because, hey, the Yankees went out and signed Anthony Rizzo. Now, I don't know if Anthony over the winter, ended up getting the vaccine, but he wasn't vaccinated last year. He admitted it. He's one of the few that admitted it.
There's two ways we can go here. That's either because they really feel that the mandate will be lifted by opening day, or they feel that all the players will get vaccinated if forced to. And I think it's the latter. Again, there's just way too much to lose. I'll stand by it, and I'll be on the air to tell you that I was wrong. I don't think there's a Kyrie in Major League Baseball. I just think these guys didn't want to get vaccinated, and when they look at what they're going to lose by not playing, they'll get vaccinated. I don't know. I don't know if any of you tell me, Michael. You know these players.
I don't
Are
know
any
like
of
that.
them Kyrie? Are they doing it for any like higher power or moral high ground, or they just
won't
didn't
even
feel
admit
like getting it?
Don, they won't even admit it. They won't even
Right,
admit
so-
that they're not vaccinated.
right.
So there is no higher ground.
So they probably felt like, I don't need to have it. Maybe they're like those people who think that I had COVID during the winter, I don't need to get it again, or they don't want to put something foreign in their body. But believe me, if there is a player that is going to lose service time and lose millions of dollars and wreck their team's season, I think they'll get vaccinated.
I will tell you one thing that's interesting, though, because somebody on Twitter noted it to me yesterday. The CDC has said that natural immunity is hugely important. Well, Rizzo had it. Kyrie had it. I don't know who else is not vaccinated. I know there were like 10 Mets out of 26. No, more than that. Less than 50% of their roster was not vaccinated. Who knows if they got it or not? Doesn't that count for something, too? If they actually had the virus?
Yeah.
Again, I'm
They're
not a
encouraging
scientist.
people to get it, though. That's the point. So,
and there's also people vary different. Like the way it was explained to me, Michael, is that they can really kind of pinpoint how long you're vaccinated, like how long those antibodies will be in your body while you get vaccinated. Pfizer and Moderna did the work, and it's, I guess, around 6 months. There's no way really to determine somebody who had COVID, how long those antibodies will be in their body. For some people, it might be 3 months. For some, 6. For some, it might be 2 weeks. Depends on how bad they got it. What was the viral load? So it varies. So there's no way to really determine, okay, if you had COVID, you're good for X amount of months. You might be, but I think it's a little bit easier to determine it if you're vaccinated. But again, we're just going by what we read, and we've had this. We go around and around. What you decide to read is what you're going to believe, and everybody's reading different things.
It's good to read.
I love
reading's good.
Reading a
Don
book
reads
about
a
the
book
Rat Pack right now. Fascinating.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called? The Rat Pack?
It's
He's reading the book. He doesn't know the name.
Well, he reads a
wait
lot of
minute.
books. What? How can you attack
It's
him for that?
basically a book about how Joey Bishop was really the reason that there was a mob connection to the Rat Pack.
And I got to tell you one thing. No offense to Joey Bishop. Who's the one that doesn't fit?
Oh, that's like the essence of the book.
Well, Joey Bishop. Well,
Right,
even Peter Lawford shouldn't have been there. I mean, Sammy and Dean and Frank. I mean, that makes sense. Joey Bishop?
But Joey was the connection. Because he came up through all the clubs, and 90% of the clubs he played in were all mob-owned. And so he was the one that was connected to the mob, not Frank.
Again, I just marvel. I'm jealous. I don't know how you read this much. I can't even fathom it. Maybe I'm working too much. I get off the air. The idea of picking up a book about Joey Bishop. He could show up at my house to tell me about his life. I'd say, I'm busy with Joey.
That would be huge news. He's dead. So if he showed up at your house.
and I still would be like, this is unreal. You should go to someone's house. Who cares?
The Rat Pack doesn't fascinate you, though.
No.
You, of all people, I would think that's a subject you'd be interested in.
I have listened to a podcast on Sammy. I've watched some of the Frank biopic show. You know, I have some interest. But, yeah, a whole book about the connection to Joey Bishop. I'm not knocking you for it, Don. By all means, I have plenty of things I would be interested in that you wouldn't be. I just am amazed by that you're able to do it so much.
Jets are trading linebacker Blake Cashman to the Texans for a 2023 sixth-round pick, according to Tom Pelissero.
I thought sixth-round picks didn't matter. Remember when they got Flacco?
And by the way, they re-signed Flacco. Yep, they re-signed Flacco, so they have a good backup quarterback now.
I mean,
why?
He's okay. I'll tell you this: they're losing that battle in town. I firmly believe in 2022, Teddy Bridgewater's a full level up from Joe Flacco.
What are you saying? But no, you're talking about Tyrod Taylor.
Sorry.
Why would you bring down Bridgewater like that?
Sorry. I firmly believe Tyrod Taylor is a level up right now. By the way, I think of Teddy Bridgewater and Tyrod Taylor in the exact same category, so it works either way. Both better than Joe Flacco.
But only one of them's got a Super Bowl ring.
I mean, that was a long time.
I know.
I mean, do you remember who played
don't
better?
back down, Don.
What'd you say?
I said don't back down, Don. You're right.
He didn't know. He's not backing down. He wasn't even making a real argument. He was just pointing out that Flacco has a Super Bowl. Right, Don?
Yeah, but that shouldn't factor in right at this particular moment who's the better backup.
Yeah,
Is he a better backup than what the Jets had last year? Yes.
Well, they had him last year.
No, at the end. They didn't have him when Wilson first got hurt.
Well, the funny...
Listen, can we say that all of them, White, Flacco, Taylor, 100% better than what the Giants had at backup last year?
Yes.
Jabroni Pumpleduck.
All right, let's take a break before we talk about Jabroni Pumpleduck. There's some news out of Nick camp as well. Out of the Knicks side of the city. We'll talk about that. Take your phone calls as well. It's Kayla, Greca, Rosenberg, and you right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Here you really can have it all. From self-service kiosks and betting windows to a live sports ticker and digital odds boards, placing a bet has never been easier. And with a 50 by 30 foot LED screen and over 200 tables to eat, drink, and enjoy, we're bringing the game to you. Join us at DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods and grab yourself a front row seat. Download the app today to get started with our latest offer.
Now's the time to get a Ford built for you, by you. Pick your color, your wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want an F-150 with a 12-inch touchscreen, 400 horsepower and an Explorer, or a moonroof? You got it. And now get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. See your local Ford store for a Ford built for you, by you. Custom build your new Ford truck or SUV and get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. Use special lease and financing deals at buyfordnow.com.
Conference foes collide at the stadium as NYCFC battles Philadelphia. Next level! Saturday, Golden Boot winner Taki Castellanos leads the attack.
He wanted his goal! He made it his goal!
As City clashes with the Union. Coverage starts Saturday at 12:30 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app.
The future depends on teachers. Every day, teachers are shaping our tomorrows, starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history.
Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who will help combat climate change,
and generating possibilities for a student who will become the first in their family to graduate college.
It all starts with teachers who meet challenges with creativity, who reinvent education for the future, who work towards a school system that lifts up every child, regardless of race, income, or zip code, and who enable the full potential of our students, our communities, and our country.
Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Shape the future. Teach.
I don't know. I mean, I think they look good, man.
Smooth. They are a little tight.
Like, too tight? Might just need to break them in a little bit because you don't want them too loose.
For those who were born to ride, there's Progressive.
True.
With 24/7 roadside assistance.
Okay. Think I'm gonna wear these home.
Excellent choice.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
In this town, you've got to make your own way. Here, we learn from our losses, and we work to earn what we know in our hearts to be ours. Representing the greatest city in the world everywhere we go. Because we are New York City. Together, we are undeniable.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
I let go of trying to control things that I had no control over, and that helped me find peace of mind.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
I was constantly stressed and worried. Now I approach each day with joy and gratitude.
In Al-Anon, families and friends of alcoholics find new ways to heal from the effects of a loved one's drinking.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. For information, call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Nothing is too tough for KD. Kevin Durant, cold-blooded.
The most ridiculous offensive talents that this league has ever seen.
The Yes app is putting the Brooklyn Nets in the palm of your hand. Named Best Mobile Video App, the Yes app is your digital destination for streaming live Nets games. Feed your fandom with features like the Yes Watch Party. Win up to $10,000 for free with Yes Pick and Play, and get your fantasy fix in real time with live game stats. Plus, stream daily highlights and post-game interviews anytime, anywhere. Score big with the Nets on your mobile device. Download the Yes app now.
All right, this 98.7 ESPN Hoops update brought to you by Corona. Live in the moment. Live La Vida Más Vina with an ice cold Corona. For 21 plus, relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to quiz Don and Peter for this Hoops update.
All right.
So, obviously, Kyrie scored 60 yesterday. The game before, Durant had scored 53. So it's the second time this year that he's had over 50 points. There are only 3 players now in NBA history that have had multiple 50-point games with 3 teams. Please tell me those players. One of them is Kevin Durant.
So there's 3, but you got to come with the other 2.
You said multiple 50-point games with 3 teams?
3 different teams. So Durant was the Thunder. He did it 4 times.
LeBron.
Golden State 2, Nets 2. LeBron has won. Very good. 9 times with the Cavs. 3 times with the Lakers, 2 times with the Heat.
How about Shaq Diesel?
No.
Oh, he doesn't have a lot of 50s on the resume.
I'm trying to think of guys that are that good that played for multiple teams, right?
Yeah, real pure scorers who played on 3.
You had a thought there, and you shoved it back. No, it's not Melo. I'll give you a hint. 2 of the teams this guy played for, same city.
2 in the same city. Well, so it has to be a Los Angeles team.
Oh. Bernard King?
Nope. Good guess, though, Don. Really good.
At Hospodar. Same city at Jace. Would you have called that same city?
Yeah, same city at Jace.
So you're saying that was a good poll?
It was a great poll. Wrong, but great.
Thought about it.
Give up?
Yeah.
What? All right, I'll give you one other clue.
Okay.
I'll give you a number. 20,000.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Wilt.
I was. By the way, I hate myself. I'm a loser. I thought Wilt 5 minutes ago. Didn't want to embarrass myself by you going, he only played on 2 teams, you moron. So I laid off. I forgot.
105 times with the Philly Warriors. 11 times with the 76ers. 2 times with the Lakers.
Wow. Only
How about that?
105 times.
Also, another bit of New York news. Kenny Payne, who's been an assistant for the Knicks the last 2 seasons, officially was announced as the Louisville Cardinals' new men's basketball coach. Payne's was a very good assistant. I know a lot of the players liked him, the Kentucky connection, the whole deal, but he gets the job with the Louisville Cardinals. Let's go back to the calls. Let's go to Danny in Franklin Square. Daniel.
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Great.
I'm a big fan.
Thanks.
I'm okay. So I'm a registered nurse. I work at a busy hospital in Queens. I worked on a COVID unit, in 2020, the whole year when the brunt of this thing happened. I showed up to work every day not knowing how deadly this virus was, not knowing if my life was in danger or my family's life was in danger. And I showed up to work and I did the best I could. And then come this fall, I had to make a decision, as many of my colleagues did, if we had to take a vaccine for a virus that most of us have already had and survived, or we lose our jobs. I just feel like a lot of people are not really taking serious how many people really lost their jobs, from this mandate. And one more thing, real quick. Don just said, "Oh, what if there's another outbreak, a new variant?" We just seen the vaccine didn't work in December. Everyone got it.
Well, it worked keeping people from dying.
No, see, if you read any textbook, viruses mutate. They mutate into different states. Some of them, most of the time, they become less lethal, but they're more transmissible. So nobody really knows if the vaccine made the virus effects weaker or if it's just the virus mutating. Nobody really knows.
Fair.
Well, there are doctors out there that feel that the vaccinated were more protected against hospitalizations and death than the unvaccinated.
Well, statistics back that up.
But statistics, I'm not really sure. So my wife was 9 months pregnant, and thank God she survived COVID, but she got COVID 9 months pregnant, unvaccinated. Like I said, thank God she was fine. But it's just, it all depends on how healthy you are. I just feel like everybody's saying, "Oh, take the mandate down," and the mandate is ridiculous. They should get rid of it, no question. But what do you do about everybody that lost their jobs? I had a number of colleagues.
You're right, Danny. That's the problem. That's why I don't think they're lifting the mandate.
Well, can I just ask you? Would you mind if I asked you a personal question? Because we're curious about what is it about the vaccine that bothers you?
I think that people that are older and that are more susceptible, they should get it. But if I had it and I had it again and I survived it, listen, if they told me the vaccine, if I took it, you don't get it, you don't spread it, give me the vaccine. But if I could spread it anyway and I could get it anyway, why would I have to choose between paying my mortgage and feeding my family? You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm not anti-vaccine, but
did you get the vaccine, Danny? Did you get it? You did, just to keep your job. Right.
I have to keep my job. What am I going to do? I have to feed my family.
No, I get you. It's a tough call.
It's a tough call. And I'll jump in. It's all about what, you threw a bunch of stuff at us, and obviously you're a frontline worker, and thank you so much for your service. And you have one opinion, but then there are doctors that have the opposite opinion. So we all have to do what's best for us. But at the end of the day, do you agree that the vaccine? All right, you can argue whether it protects you or not. Do you believe the vaccine's dangerous? Do you believe that there could be lasting effects by having the vaccine?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know.
Right, so all I'm saying is that you were forced to make a decision. These baseball players are going to be forced to make a decision. Now, if you're morally against it, religiously against it, that's one thing. But if you,
but they don't give you a choice to be religiously against it. There were no religious exemptions. Everyone's religious exemptions got denied. Everyone's. Right. Nobody had a chance to get a religious exemption. And I get it. We work in hospitals. That's fine. But I showed up to work every day. I used the same mask for 7 days in a brown paper bag, and I asked no questions. And I took care of all my patients. Some days I had 12 patients, and 7 of them were critical. And I did everything I could for them. And then they tell me, take this shot or you lose your job. And it's just... I know this is a sports show, but, it just got me...
this is one of those times, Danny, when it intersects. And I think that is the issue that Eric Adams has to deal with. If he lifts the mandate, which right now doesn't seem like it makes sense, he's going to have all this pushback from people that lost their job because they wouldn't take the vaccine.
But this call is so interesting and really gets down to the fundamental problem we have with this whole pandemic, is that Danny believes that the vaccine was ineffective. He doesn't believe that it could protect you any more than if you had COVID before. But there are other people that believe that that's not the case. So, who do you believe? So the mandate looks, not this mandate, but other mandates look ridiculous because you believe one thing, but then there's another side that believes another thing.
No,
so decisions are being made on one bit of science, and then there's another side that says, no, it doesn't work that. Like, what are we supposed to believe? Now, I chose what I believe. I believe that the vaccination works. I listened to those numbers. But then you have Danny, who obviously knows what he's talking about, who believes something completely different.
Well, the CDC has this up on their website. COVID-19 vaccines protect against COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations. Vaccines reduce the risk of COVID-19, including the risk of severe illness and death among people who are fully vaccinated. In addition to data from clinical trials, evidence from real-world vaccine effectiveness studies show that COVID-19 vaccines help against COVID-19 infections with or without symptoms. Vaccine effectiveness against hospitalizations has remained relatively high over time, though it tends to be slightly lower for older adults and for people with a weakened immune system. Danny just said, well, mutations and variants weaken over time. Maybe that's why people aren't hospitalized. But doctors are saying that this stops you from getting hospitalized.
And there have been many, many people that have gotten COVID and gotten COVID bad who were told that, thank God you were vaccinated, it would have been worse. But if you choose to believe something else, so you've got people attacking mandates who believe one thing, and then there's another side. Like, so it makes it so difficult because we just can't decide on anything.
Well, Daniel Jones farewell tour. No more excuses. Just tweet it to us, please. Not another 3.5 hours about vaccinations.
Nope.
I'll even listen to hockey talk. You're right, Daniel. I'm sick of it. But you can't say it. It's going to impact whether the Yankees can field some of their best players and the Mets could field some of their best players. So to just ignore it is sticking your head in the sand or maybe behind you. I mean, we can't be afraid of like this. It's not fun, but there is an intersection between sports and this that I'm sorry has a huge effect on your sports teams. It has an effect on whether or not the Nets are going to win the NBA championship. So to just ignore it, you're not doing your job as a sports host. We're not morphing into WABC. Don't worry about that. But you can't, like, put your fingers in your ears and go, nah, I don't want to hear it. It's pretty important when it comes to sports right now. We hadn't spoken about it for months. Goodness gracious, people don't want to hear important stuff.
Well, they'll have something to say if on opening day there are a couple of Yankees that are not playing against the Red Sox in the Bronx.
Let's take a brief timeout, take more phone calls right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
From the very first touch, Pampers, the #1 pediatrician-recommended brand, helps keep baby's skin drier and healthier, so every touch will protect like the first. Pampers.
Volkswagen has an SUV that's the perfect match for your lifestyle. Whether it's head-turning style, room for your entire family, a turbocharged joyride, or an all-electric experience. With our SUV lineup, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your tri-state Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about our vehicle lineup.
My F is for the people. I made it just for you. For the seasons who like action. For the seasons on the move. And don't forget the season reward.
This seems dangerous, sir.
I know.
Too much?
No, Pat.
But it's the truth, though. Only the truth. And then what happens?
Pizza. When the pie you know and love is still the pie you know and love.
Oh my God.
On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. Grubhub.
Named Best Mobile Video App, the Yes app is your digital destination for streaming live Nets games. Score big with the Nets on your mobile device. Download the Yes app now.
Tonight, Brooklyn's push for the NBA playoffs ramps up against one of the best in the West.
Good night!
Durant and the Nets. Luka Doncic and the Mavs.
Nasty.
It's a matchup of elite NBA talent that will leave you screaming, Yes! Nets versus Mavericks. Live coverage starts tonight at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app.
Marina has a rare form of children's eye cancer, retinoblastoma. Her doctor sent us to a specialist, and then the specialist sent us to St. Jude. Within the first couple weeks of us getting here, I was just so scared. I think the reality just hit me, and it kind of hit me all at once. I had started to cry, and I was just so scared, filled with fear. And her doctor came in, Dr. Brennan came in, and just didn't even say anything, sat down beside me, and hugged me and held me while I was literally sobbing. And she just said, it's gonna be okay. We don't have to worry anymore. The treatment worked, and we've saved her eye. This place has been such a blessing for us. There's no way we could have paid for treatment back home if we had to. We can come here, and we can just solely focus on taking care of her and helping her heal.
Hey guys, face it, you're no mechanic and cars are only getting more complicated and expensive to fix. If you'd have called CarShield, you wouldn't be staring at your engine for an hour. If your car's out of warranty, one call to CarShield could save you thousands on car repairs. No joke. CarShield administrators have saved drivers over $1 billion in car repairs. I'm telling you, you gotta call CarShield. The best defense against getting hit by expensive repair bills.
Don't get stuck with an expensive repair bill. Call CarShield and save now. CarShield has coverage for most makes and models, new and used, from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. Your coverage includes unlimited mileage, 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental reimbursement at no additional cost. Call 800-992-7139.
When my car broke down, I took it back to the dealership that I got it from, and with CarShield, they fixed it in no time. If it wasn't for CarShield, I wouldn't be driving my car right now. CarShield administrators saved me $5,000 on my rear differential.
With car warranties in the past, their job was to take your money and find ways not to pay out. As soon as my car broke down, CarShield jumped into action, and I had my car back within days.
CarShield offers affordable, pay-as-you-go monthly plans that offer you protection from expensive breakdowns.
Listen, with affordable, pay-as-you-go monthly plans, nationwide coverage, and unlimited miles, calling CarShield is the call you need to make. You have better things to spend your money on. Don't blow it on car repairs. Call CarShield before it's too late.
I definitely recommend you guys give CarShield a call. If you're sitting at home and you do have a used vehicle and then you go down the road and you know how expensive repairs are, without them, you're going to be coming out of pocket.
Get protection now against expensive auto repair bills. Call CarShield for a free protection plan quote. Once your car breaks down, it's too late. Call 800-992-7139. 800-992-7139. 800-992-7139.
With you on Yes. So great to be back here. Oh yeah, he can do it all. You bet that will do it. Star-studded matchup here on Yes. Putting the Brooklyn Nets in the palm of your hand. Named Best Mobile Video App, the Yes app is your digital destination for streaming live Nets games. Feed your fandom with features like the Yes Watch Party. Win up to $10,000 for free with Yes Pick and Play, and get your fantasy picks in real time with live game stats. Plus, stream daily highlights and post-game interviews anytime, anywhere. Score big with the Nets on your mobile device. Download the Yes app now.
It's a little shocking, Don, to tell you the truth.
What's that?
Peter gets the Duncan read. Like Duncan doesn't like the two of us. You drink Duncan every day.
There's a lot of times you actually see the Duncan Cup on television.
And
that I'm
Peter
drinking.
gets the read.
Because you know what? Because I think this reinforces the opinion that he is the better reader of the three.
Well, listen, there's two things. Yeah, number one, sure, I may be the GOAT, but number two, I am also a Duncan man at Hot 97. You know, Laura and I get our Duncan every day, so who knows? But, you know, Michael, you were just commenting on frustrations of things that we see on Twitter. I just had to deal with someone saying to me, how isn't Rosenberg Radio wearing a Steve Austin shirt today? What a fraud. And I'm wearing a Steve Austin shirt. I mean,
why should you be wearing a Steve Austin shirt
because
today?
today
I'm ignorant to this.
is March 16th, known as 316, which is Steve Austin's whole thing.
So he's saying, why aren't you wearing a shirt that you're wearing?
Yeah, well, no. What happened was, this is called being a yo-yo, in all due respect. He's like, Rosenberg should be wearing an Austin shirt today. He didn't recognize, he doesn't have enough knowledge to know that this Highway to Hell SummerSlam shirt is a Steve Austin shirt. That's all.
Oh, you feel like you won, don't you?
I do.
Don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
And don't get upset, because it is Austin versus The Undertaker on the shirt, and I know how you feel about that.
Big news, Don. According to Anthony DiComo of MLB.com, the Mets have signed Chasen Shreve to add to their bullpen. So a little Ottavino, a little Shreve, a little Yankee flavor for Buck Showalter, not Joe Buck.
I don't
Buck
hate it.
Showalter of the Mets.
I don't hate it. And the Ottavino, you know what? These pitchers, it's every other year with them sometimes. We've seen him pitch well. So
he had a very good average against lefties last year.
Yeah, so I think he'll be a situational guy. Shreve, I didn't hate him with the Yankees. I thought he did it. You'd know better than me. You saw him every time he pitched, but this is what you have to add. I mean, who would have thought that some of the guys you go out and get, you don't even think of. Was it Addison Reed? Remember when the Mets picked him up? I got the name right. Yeah, they picked him up at the World Series, and he was great. Nobody batted an eye when they acquired him. Next thing, he's getting big outs. So you just got to bring in bodies and just hope you get the right combination in the bullpen, and then know exactly when to get rid of them, because when it goes bad quick.
This 98.7 ESPN Hoops update is brought to you by the new name in automotive excellence, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Princeton. Visit them at Princeton Jeep, where they will exceed your expectations, or visit them 24/7 at cdjrofprinceton.com. We have the Knicks against Portland tonight at the Garden. That's a 7 o'clock pregame right here on 98.7, and 7:30 is the tip, and Portland is Don's favorite team. He'll tell us why, right?
No.
A couple of things. The Knicks, it was reported today, they are keeping Tom Thibodeau next year. And I think that's the smart move. You have to have some kind of consistency with your coaching. You can't keep changing coaches all the time. This is a well-respected guy. I don't think he had the greatest year this year, but I don't think the team had the greatest year. So combined, they certainly were different than last year, but he is coming back next year, according to several reports, and I agree with that move.
And if they get off to an awful start, he'll be gone.
Right.
So that's usually how that works out.
Also, R.J. Barrett is going to have, over his last 16 games or 15 games, however many they have left, he has to average like 22.3 points per game in order to average 20 points for the year. And that's important to him because he's compared a lot by Thibodeau and to him with Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler didn't average 20 points a game until his fourth year in the NBA. So if R.J. Barrett does it in his third year, he'd be ahead of the great Jimmy Butler. Now, he said the right thing, though, the kid. The kid says all the right things. Remember, he's just 21 years old. He said, I will try to average 20 points a game, but only if it's within what the team concept is. I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. So good for him. Yeah. So that's something to look for tonight. Portland against the Knicks, and the Knicks don't have much of a chance to get into the play-in, people, so they just don't. Please, I hope you're not hanging your hopes on that.
No, it's what is it? Is it 5 back in the loss count? Those 2 losses in a row killed them. Like, they had a nice 3-game winning streak, and then they played well in Memphis, played pretty well in Brooklyn, but not enough. And now we got a winnable game certainly tonight, Michael, but they just don't have enough games.
Now, I have a question for both of you.
Sure.
And it's not easy. It's why both of you get paid an inordinate amount of money.
Okay.
Ready? The mandate's not lifted. The Nets are going into the playoffs.
Okay.
They can't win without Kyrie playing all the games. They can't. Too much on Kevin Durant's plate.
Okay.
They have tried to build something special in Brooklyn. If you're Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, do you say, I'm moving the team to Jersey for the playoffs?
It sounds like an easy fix. I heard Alan Hahn talking about this earlier. But are you allowed to do that? Are you breaking a lease, leaving Brooklyn to go do that?
He owns the Barclays Center.
But is there any agreement with Brooklyn? I mean, that's probably something very difficult to do at the last second, right? All those people that work at the Barclays Center, they're not going to get paid. They're not going to work when those games aren't played there. Can you move them? Can you take all those workers and have them go to Newark? Because I guess that's where they would play. Maybe the Izod Center. Because that's what I would be concerned about, Michael, are those people.
But again, he owns the building, so he doesn't have to be that concerned. Obviously, there's people caught in the crossfire, but he's paying a lot of money to put a championship team together. The only way you're going to win a championship is with Kyrie playing all the time. So what would be the harm of moving it to the Izod Center?
I don't have an intimate knowledge of the Izod Center. I throw it out there because I think it's just still sitting there.
Right. I'm sure you can put a basketball court in there.
And no, I'm sure all the stuff is still there from the old Nets, right? I don't know. Appassionata was the last time I was in that building, remember?
Mm-hmm. You loved
the night
it,
of
too.
the Johan Santana no-hitter. That was 10 years ago, if you can believe
Well,
it.
one hitter, but go ahead.
Well, hey, listen, you want to go look it up? Go look it up and see what it says. So you said he's got no issue with Brooklyn, right? I mean, he owns the building.
Right.
So go rent out the Izod Center. There's nothing going on there.
I mean, it'd be $200 a night.
All right. And then you take all the workers at the Barclays Center and you bus them over to work the games at the Izod Center. Sounds like it's like an easy thing, right, Peter? I mean, that's it. That's it. It's done.
Easy is I wouldn't use the word easy because in all seriousness, you're going to have to spend, $50,000 on the building. You're going to have to spend another $50,000 on transportation. Yeah, for a billionaire, it's not a big deal. But it's.
Would you do it though? It's an awful look when you're trying to establish Brooklyn as your home.
That's another.
But you do want to win a championship.
Yeah, but you're also saying I'm sure every Brooklyn Net fan would be on board if it means Kyrie gets to play every game. So I know you're trying to build something in Brooklyn, but it's not your fault.
If you're a real hardcore Nets fan, you would drive to Jersey if you were planning to go to a game. You drive to Jersey for a game or two to get Kyrie.
Heck, Peter, I'm sure most of their fan base is in Jersey anyway. I don't know. Do you think they converted any Brooklynites?
And also, Brooklyn to Jersey is not that awful a couple of times.
For a playoff game?
Yeah,
for a run to a championship? Boy, I'd love to go to that. I'd love to go to that Suns Nets Game 7, but boy,
it's in Jersey.
It would take too long.
All right, let's take a brief timeout. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about still. We haven't even scratched the surface, frankly. I mean, it's ridiculous. The show has to be longer than 4 hours. People are clamoring for it. It's Kayla, Greca, Rosenberg, and you on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
10 years ago, we started Untuckit out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide.
It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale.
Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping.
Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
Tired of food storage containers that clutter up your fridge and cabinets?
Fed up with cling wrap and foil that doesn't keep your food fresh?
Well, now you can go ahead and forget about it. George and Mary Beth here with another incredible invention.
Skinny Stacks, the all-new tray storage system that keeps your food fresher longer. So you simply put your food in the tray and snap, it's closed.
Then set the freshness tracker. Now, stale, dried-up food is a thing of the past.
And freezer burn?
Forget about it.
Look, ordinary containers, foil, or cling wrap allows air to get inside and spoil your food. But the unique silicone cover on the Skinny Stacks stretches to fit over your food, pushing air out and locking in freshness with an airtight seal. You can really see the difference. This super stretchy silicone lid stretches to fit virtually any kind of food, like these avocados.
And this thick-cut watermelon. And how about this huge grapefruit?
How about this entire chicken? And the stackable design lets you neatly store just about anything. Take your fridge from this to this.
Use Skinny Stacks to take your snacks and foods to parties.
Just remove the lid and serve from the tray. It's perfect for taking meat from the fridge straight to the grill the easy way.
And the see-through lid makes it easy to see what's inside.
Plus, the tray is microwave safe. And cleanup's a breeze because they're dishwasher safe.
Skinny Stack's stackable design will save you space in your fridge and cabinets.
Keep your food fresh the easy way with Skinny Stacks.
Call or go online now and get your Skinny Stack storage trays for just $19.99. But order right now and we'll double the offer. As a bonus, use the promo code on your screen and we'll give you 50% off a second set of Skinny Stacks. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 sets of Skinny Stacks, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-916-7124 or go online at skinnystacks.com now.
It's one thing to build a truck. It's another to build a legacy. This is the Ford F-150 truck, the only one with an available Pro Power onboard generator, the one with an available work surface in the front and in the back, and the only one that's part of F-Series, the best-selling pickups for 45 years straight and counting. Custom build your new Ford F-150 and get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
When you order carryout online from Domino's, we know it takes skill to get pizza from our store through a car door to your front door. So we're going to tip you for delivering your own pizza to yourself. Get a $3 tip just for ordering carryout online, only at Domino's.
At DraftKings Casino, we give credit where credit is due, in the form of credit. Sign up with DraftKings Casino and get up to $50 in free credit, plus a deposit bonus up to $2,000. That's like extra credit in the form of a bonus. Download the DraftKings Casino app or play online today. Get up to $50 in credits to use on any game, plus a deposit bonus up to $2,000. Now, roll credits.
Let's make a toast to doing more this spring. Actually, let's make 2. Introducing creamy hummus and savory avocado toast. Topped with oven-roasted tomatoes, vine-ripened, and perfectly seasoned. Now you have 2 more delicious reasons to do your thing this spring. America runs on Dunkin'.
Watch new episodes of Brooklyn Nets Magazine every month on Yes, or stream anytime on the Yes app.
The American Red Cross blood supply is at historically low levels this winter, and we're facing a dangerous situation across the country. Without the blood they need, hospitals may be forced to make tough decisions about patient care. Donors are needed now to ensure blood is available for everyone who needs it when they need it. The good news is, you can help. Make an appointment to give now. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Patients are counting on you.
Right here, baby. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Read social media. Yankee fans are not overly enamored with what the Yankees have done so far. There certainly is not a high-profile move. Last night, they brought back Anthony Rizzo, who they had made a trade for, so a 2-year, $32 million deal. The first year, he can opt out after the first year. So if he has a great year, he's going to want more money and might leave. And then the trade, obviously, for Donaldson, as well as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Rortvedt. So it's not a sexy move. Donaldson, like I guess 8 years ago, would have been considered a sexy move. But he comes to the Yankees carrying $50 million in obligations. So the Yankees raised their payroll quite a bit. You know, they were under 210. Right now they're at 251. And they're not done, I would think, although you would assume that by signing Rizzo that it would mean that you'd end up trading Voit, so that would be some money coming off. But if you get a pitcher that's going to be helpful, well, then you're going to stay over 250. That means the Yankees would have crossed 2 of the thresholds already, the top threshold being 290. But Hal Steinbrenner spoke today, the Yankees managing general partner, and he was asked by the media, why hasn't the team made a big splash?
I think you know me well enough to know, and Cash will tell you that I am willing to discuss and consider anything that my baseball people bring to me. And that process was done this year. I mean, as it is every year. We left no stone unturned. Obviously, once the lockout ended, there's considerably less time to get anything done. But it doesn't mean we weren't preparing and discussing and looking at everything the last 2 months.
Now, the Yankees have a $251 million payroll, which is third in all of sports, in all of baseball. And so you've got the Mets first. They're closing in on 290, which would be the Cohen tax. And then you've got the Dodgers. And the Yankees are always, from now on, are going to look at the fact and go, well, you're not you're not spending as much as Cohen, and you're the Yankees, and they're the Mets. So Steinbrenner was asked, does Cohen's spending change your habits?
I think everybody expects that I do, but the answer is no, because the fact is I can't control what resources other owners or other teams have and what they're going to do with those resources. I make the same commitment every year. My family does, which is to do everything we're able to do to field a championship caliber team and try to win a World Series. And I will continue to do everything I'm able to do to accomplish it.
And then he was asked, how does he feel about the Mets' rise?
Do you welcome the Mets' newfound celebrity? Just celebrity. I've had a couple lunches with him. He seems like a pretty down-to-earth guy to me, but I don't know him well. Look, I think it's great for the fans in New York to have two competitive baseball teams. We're in different leagues, but to a certain extent we're rivals. I think it's going to make the summer a lot of fun.
Now, I will tell you this. It's going to be a thorn in Hal's side because Cohen's going to spend more than the Mets even might bring in. Now, the Mets do well, but they don't own the network. The Wilpons still own the network. So they get a rights fee, but they don't own the network like the Yankees do. But he's going to spend whatever it takes to win. He's 62 years old. He just bought the team for, $2.5 billion. He has $16 billion in the bank. He owns the team essentially alone. I think that the Wilpons and Saltcats still own 5%. So Cohen owns 95%. He's going to spend like crazy. There's nothing wrong with it. Not breaking any rules. But it's I think the way the crow flies, they're 7 miles away from each other. Same back pages. So if he's going to spend on whatever he wants to spend on, and the Yankees are going to be prudent, although they have a very high payroll, there is going to be pressure on Hal and the Steinbrenner family to match this guy dollar for dollar. And I don't think that Hal's going to fall victim to that. But if the Mets are successful with their spending, that's going to put pressure on the Yankees. Yeah. I spoke to a lot of people in baseball, Don, when they were about to okay Cohen's purchase, because the owners have to okay it. And my point was, wow, you guys really are taking a chance here. This guy is going to use his money because that's his advantage. The Met farm system is down right now. He's going to spend whatever he wants to spend. He doesn't care if he loses money. This is a toy for him. He grew up a Met fan. And I was assured by several people, no, that's not going to happen. I said, this guy gets whatever he wants. Look at the artwork that he's purchased. He's gone out and spent the most money he could spend on artwork that other people want, and he has it hanging in his house. You all of us think, so he's going to look at players as artwork. He's going to, look, $43 million for Max Scherzer. So what he did to every MLB owner, and I'm not knocking him, good for him and good for the Met fans, he skipped over 37, skipped over 38. Skipped over 39, skipped over 40, 41, 42, 43 till he got the 43 and a half. Whatever it took to sign Max Scherzer, he was going to sign. He was going to do it. If Max Scherzer wanted $45 million, he would have gotten that. That's a lot to compete with when it's right within your vision, Don.
So you're basically what you're saying is there doesn't seem to be any budget for Steve Cohen. And it really doesn't seem to matter, at least right now. This could change. But really what the Mets do as far as money that they take in won't necessarily stop him from spending money because he'll spend maybe his own because he wants to win right away. Now, he might change his mind down the road, but it's not like we take in X amount of dollars and that's what we're going to use to build our team. Hal Steinbrenner, on the other hand, can't dip into other funds because this is the family business. So what they make, they put back into their team. Now, they make a lot of money. But you're kind of talking about, Michael, now the Yankee fan is getting a sense of what the smaller market teams were kind of going through when George owns a team. Because there didn't seem to be a budget. He'll do whatever he could to win, and there were other teams that had certain financial constraints. And compared to Steve Cohen, Hal Steinbrenner's got financial constraints. Because he doesn't have some billion-dollar company that he owns somewhere else that he can dip into those funds. This is the family business. But here's the other end that we never get to talk about, Michael, and I think this is why the fans turn on the Yankees so quickly. They probably have the highest ticket prices in baseball.
I think the Dodgers are there, too.
All right. Well, the Dodgers just came off winning a championship 2 years ago.
And they're not a good fan base to compare anything to because their fan base is so weird.
But the thing is that a Yankee fan is used to spending a lot of money to go to the ballpark because the Yankees were always known as a team that was going to put a lot of money into their team as much as humanly possible to win. And now the team has not won since 2009. And, a Yankee fan who's sitting in the legend seats doesn't want to hear about fiscal responsibility.
But it's funny, Don. The people in the legend seats are not the ones on Twitter and not the ones calling talk shows. It's the other fans.
No,
where the prices are quite reasonable.
Right, but you say reasonable, Michael, but coming off a pandemic with a lot of, going to the ballpark, no matter where you sit, is kind of a legend seat to a person that makes, $60,000 a year and wants to take his family of 4 to even sit in the nosebleeds. There's a lot of money that they spend, and they're happy to do it because they're diehard fans of the team, and they always felt like, hey, no matter how much money I have to spend, how can I complain? Yankees are competing for a World Series every year. They put the money back into the team. And now the team hasn't won in, this would be 12 years. All right, they've won 2 division titles since 2009, and now we're hearing about fiscal responsibility. That's an adjustment for a Yankee fan to make because these were things they didn't have to worry about a decade ago.
But I don't think that's fair. They're not talking about fiscal responsibility. They have the 3rd highest payroll in baseball. The thing we said at the beginning of the show, you cannot call this guy cheap.
All right, no, nobody's saying fiscal responsibility does not mean being cheap.
Well, but first of all, he's a businessman, and he is not. And I mentioned this earlier. I think the Steinbrenner owns 55 or 60% of the team. There's 40% of people that are shareholders that own parts of the team. You have to answer to them.
Right.
So I think that people would complain if they put teams on the field that weren't competitive to make the playoffs, and would complain if they had a payroll that was under, not one of the top 5 payrolls in baseball. I'm sorry. Listen, the moves are not sexy. I'm the first one to tell you that. But you can't say they're cheap. It's $251.
And I'm not saying they're cheap, and they're not cheap. That would be ignorant to think that they're cheap when you have the 3rd highest payroll.
Fans say that.
But fans are coming from a place of, well, wait a minute. Look how disappointing this team has been in the postseason. Now, to some teams, what the Yankees have been since 2009 would be great. As a Met fan, I'd love to go to the playoffs every year. They would get Mets have only had a handful of times they've gone to the playoffs back-to-back years. And the Yankees consistently go to the playoffs, but they've been a disappointment in the postseason. Haven't gone to a World Series, Michael, since 2009, which is unheard of for this franchise in their history to go over a decade without a World Series appearance. Settling for wild cards, being beat pillar to post by a team that's got a $35 million payroll in the Tampa Bay Rays.
No, it's 90 now.
I'm exaggerating, but clearly it's way less than the Yankees. And so, hey, wait a minute. We're not spending the most money that Yankee fans think they can. And you've got a small market team in Tampa who loses free agents every year, still beating you. The Red Sox, a franchise that you own for the better part of 80 years, has now compiled a bunch of championships to your one. So things have really changed for the Yankee fan to where, I don't want to say they're like every other team, but they're a lot closer to that than the dominant team that they grew up rooting for.
Now, Hal was asked today about the Aaron Judge situation, whether or not they'll have talks about, this is his final year before becoming a free agent. Here's what Hal said about Judge.
Hal, do you plan to engage with Judge before the start of the regular season? He indicated yesterday that he would not want to have those type of extension talks.
And I think that's a pretty normal thing. He's got things to focus on. That's a great question for Cashman. What we've been talking about, yes, it's going to happen soon.
There you go.
All right, well, he's staying.
Well, you'll see what the Yankees want to offer and how much he wants.
Yeah.
So, before we get to the phone calls, I don't know if you saw this, Peter. Our good buddy, Jeff Passan, is a savage.
Oh, no. What did he do now?
I saw this guy, Ben Porter, all right? He puts pictures of Bob Nightingale, who's the baseball reporter for USA Today, and Jeff Passan.
Yeah, I see it.
And he says you can only keep one. So he's asking people to choose. Now, Ben Verlander, who is Justin Verlander's brother, and he's kind of he's an analyst for Fox Sports. And he has the picture of David Cohn being carried off after the perfect game, but he puts Bob Nightingale's head on David Cohn's body. So he's choosing Nightingale. Passan answers back, I guess you do have experience being the lesser of two, so it makes sense you gravitate toward it.
Well,
and I've got to give Ben Verlander credit. You know what he answered back? I'd like to report my own murder.
Well said. By the way, though, that's not the meanest thing that Jeff said in this thread.
What else did he say?
The one above that, the response to the actual post showing the picture of Nightingale and Passan.
What does he say?
Who needs facts and accuracy and real reporting when you can have Bob?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Jeff is a savage.
He's savage. He's a savage. He looks like, Dudley Do-Right, and he's a killer.
At least on Twitter he is.
Oh, he could murder people.
You think Bob? You think Jeff will physically attack someone also?
I don't know if he'd win, but he'd try.
Yeah, he's going hard. Does he openly hate Bob Nightingale? Because that's what it sounds like.
I don't know if he does or not.
Wow, very impressive.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Frank in Staten Island. Frank.
Hey guys, new listener, first time caller. Really
Welcome
enjoy
aboard.
The show.
Thanks.
Pleasure. I'm a realist. I'm an NYPD cop, and I'm a scared Yankee fan. For the first time to say, I don't bash the Steinbrenners for not spending. They got the third highest payroll, like you guys said. It's just nerve-wracking that the Blue Jays made all these moves. You look at their lineup up and down, and the pitch and the moves with the pitching with starting rotation. Like the Yankees outside of Cole scared me because Severino's pitched 3 innings in the last 2 years, and Montgomery is solid, but Herman has a shoulder issue already, and Tyone had the ankle surgery. I hope Cashman can pull a rabbit out of his hat and go get one of these guys from Oakland.
Yeah. No,
Also,
I hear you, Frank. Go ahead. What was your other point?
Just one thing for Don, humongous Ranger fan. I love the move. And, I'm 29 years old. I was, rocking in the crib, my dad told me, when the Rangers won the last cup. So I'm hoping one day in the near future I get to see the Rangers win again. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend.
You got it. Thanks for the phone call, Frank. I have mental wealth. Said, Peter, that wasn't Jeff that said that about Bob's accuracy. Shake my head.
Oh, wasn't?
No, that's what he said.
I misread the...
Why do you do this?
I'm sure it was just an accident.
I don't think I did get that
We're
wrong.
with you, Peter. Peter got porched or whatever it's called now.
Oh, no. You think I did?
Stacey Gotts, who has a great podcast talking baseball, the Yankees, he writes how Michael K's talking about passing murdering people on Twitter. He does, man. He holds nothing back.
That's why we love him.
He's very clever, too. Very clever.
Got all the pictures everyone's sending me of Carson Wentz in the Washington jacket. It's upsetting.
I think it looks terrific.
Come on,
the
Don.
beard is almost the color of their uniform.
I mean, that's great.
Go to Nick, all the way out in Utah. Nick.
Really?
Nicky.
Hi, guys. How you doing? First-time caller, long-time fan.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm out in Utah. Go to school at the University of Utah. I'm 22. My uncle's a huge fan of you, Michael. Just want to say that.
Thank you.
First of all, I wanted to say that my biggest thing with this Rizzo signing is I'm not mad at the deal at all. We knew it was coming. It was kind of inevitable, it seemed. Rizzo was a good fit, great clubhouse guy. He and Donaldson, I think, will bring a lot out of the ones that were, cute, as John Boy and them called it, the cute and cuddly ones. I think this Yankees team still has some moves to be made. I mean, the Reds are fire selling. The A's are as well. Still don't know what Pittsburgh is doing. Maybe Mitch Keller hasn't really worked out. Maybe we could fix him. I don't know. I just want to get your thoughts on what is going to be done in the next week or two as spring training gets underway.
Well, Nick, I think there's more stuff to do. I mean, Hal Steinbrenner did say they're a championship caliber team. At this point, I think that the Rays and the Blue Jays are better. I think the Red Sox have taken a step back. They lost Schwarber. They also found out that Chris Sale, who was supposed to be their opening day starter, has a stress fracture in his rib cage. So that looks like that's going to set him back. They're supposedly still in on Freeman. I don't know. It looks like Freeman might end up with the Dodgers. We'll see. I think there's more to be done. I mean, it's a fait accompli. I feel sorry for Luke Voigt, who I like, but Luke Voigt has to be traded. You can't sign Anthony Rizzo and have Luke Voigt around. You can't platoon the two of them because all Luke can do is really DH and play first base. I don't think the Yankees should be rushed into a deal, but I think that's a normal piece that you dangle out there to teams. He doesn't make a lot of money. maybe he would be interesting to Oakland. Oakland wants good players, and they want young players. Luke's not young, but he's not making a tremendous amount of money, and maybe Oakland could spin him and trade him somewhere else. But I know the Yankees are talking with Oakland about Montas and about Manaea. Or Manaea, if you get either of them, I think it really, really improves them. I think it gives the whole offseason a different look if you could pick up another top-end starter. So the moves they've made so far are not as sexy as the moves other teams have made.
Right.
And I think that's what's getting people. But all you have to ask yourself is this. After these moves, and I would hope there are more moves to come, are they better than they were last year? And I'll say what I said earlier. Yes. But not by a lot. To me, not by adding $40 million in payroll. I would think they'd be more than a little bit better than last year. But I also don't think they're done.
But ultimately, you're judged against your competition. And you're talking about the Yankees having the third highest payroll and Brian Cashman, who's one of the best general managers in baseball. Why are they behind the Rays? Why are they behind the Jays? They don't have the payroll the Yankees have. So why are the Yankees, with the third best payroll and the brain trust that they have and the confidence that they have that they're doing it the right way, why is everybody else caught up? Why were they battling for third in the division last year? Why were they out of the playoffs early? I guess that's the question that they have is how can the Blue Jays do it with less of a payroll? The Rays do it with less of a payroll.
But did the Blue Jays do it yet?
Well, they haven't done anything yet.
No, they haven't done anything.
But their payroll is going to be sky high.
So I understand that, but that's great. So let's celebrate after that big payroll with the World Series.
All right, but
the only issue people have with the Yankees, we can talk all around the salaries. The only issue people have is that they have not won a championship. That's it.
Right.
And they've been right there.
But, all right, let's not talk about what's to be or what could be. Let's talk about what has happened. The Rays have been better than them.
Yep.
With more than half the payroll, they've been better. So you don't think that bothers a Yankee fan? Kansas City, since the Yankees have won a World Series, Kansas City has won a championship, went to back-to-back World Series. The Texas Rangers went to back-to-back World Series since the last time the Yankees were in a World Series. San Francisco Giants have won 3 World Series since the last time the Yankees have been in a World Series. And even though that's a big market team that spent a lot of money, didn't have the third highest payroll in baseball. So that's what the Yankee fan sitting here saying is, wait a minute, if we've got all these brains and all this money, why are we battling for a wild card? Why aren't we the best team in baseball? Now, I'd remind those people the Dodgers spent a fortune and won their first championship 2 years ago, a pandemic-shortened 60-game season, by the way. A first championship in 30 years.
Right, and the Mets haven't won one since 1986. Right. And that's why they spent that money. That's why Cohen's spending that money. They want to win a World Series. Yankees won one in 2009 after a decade before where, they won 4. All right, let's take a brief timeout. Talk more about this, 1-800-919-3776. It's Kayla, Greca, Rosenberg, and you right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with 0 due at signing, 0 down, and 0 security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
I want all of this in my Caesar Sportsbook and Casino app.
Yes, Caesar.
You know what we should put in the app? Slot machines.
Yes, Caesar.
We need this.
Yes, Caesar.
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
oh, I gotta have that. That'll be awesome. Let's get back
yes,
there.
Caesar.
I need that too.
Yes, Caesar.
I need it all for my Sportsbook and Casino app. Oh, my Sportsbook and Casino app is gonna be amazing. How about this? I want that.
Yes, Caesar.
I want this.
Yes, Caesar.
And I need this. Can I have this?
No. You can't have food in an app, Caesar.
Well, let's work on it then. Let's make my dream a reality.
Yes, Caesar.
Oh, man.
What's wrong?
I bought my car from some guy online, and it has a huge nick on it.
Should've used Vroom. Yeah, they have detailed car listings, so you know exactly what you're getting.
Never deal with annoying surprises again. Buy your car on Vroom.com.
They say we Irish are a lucky folk. But this St. Patrick's Day, may I remind you that good taste doesn't come from luck. It comes from the oldest licensed whiskey distillery in the world. Rich and smooth, proper number 12, Irish whiskey. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Watch new episodes of Brooklyn Nets Magazine every month on Yes, or stream anytime on the Yes app.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with zero due at signing, zero down, and zero security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
Sunday on Yes.
Baseball is back.
Don't miss the first spring training game from Steinbrenner Field in Tampa.
See ya! What a blast!
As the New York Yankees take on the Detroit Tigers. Live coverage presented by Montefiore. Begins Sunday at 1 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app.
This should be fun.
These are actual COVID survivors.
My daddy, this virus made a hole on his lung. He passed away on December 27th.
The first one that went into the hospital was my father-in-law. The second person that went in was my mother-in-law. And then I went into the hospital.
On her birthday, we got together to say goodbye to my mom.
She literally dropped me off at the entrance of the hospital. And we had to say goodbye. And you don't know if that's gonna be the last time. When you get COVID, it feels like you aged like 15 years in one day. We need to take it serious. You know when it's gonna take us serious? When it happens to you. Love is gonna get us out of this, and part of that love is, getting vaccinated, wearing the masks, and socially distancing.
Call the COVID-19 hotline at 1-800-232-0233.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Up you on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Meet the Monteros. They like to multiply their wins. They're 5-time state champion foosball players, 15-time regional champion crossworders, 20-time national blue ribbon yodelers, and 200-time rock, paper, scissor international gold medalists. That's why they play the X Series family of scratch-off games from the New York Lottery, so they can multiply their wins up to 200 times. Meet the Multiplier family for a chance to win our biggest prize yet, $10 million.
Riders, let your queries be known.
Yeah, hi. Instead of letting passengers wrap their arms around us, can we put little handles on our jackets?
Deny.
Can you imagine?
I want a new nickname. Can you guys start calling me Snake?
No, Brian.
Denied.
How about we all get quotes to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer?
Approved.
Cool. Hey, if Brian's not going to be Snake, can I be Snake?
No.
DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Here you really can have it all. From self-service kiosks and betting windows to a live sports ticker and digital odds boards, placing a bet has never been easier. And with a 50 by 30 foot LED screen and over 200 tables to eat, drink, and enjoy, we're bringing the game to you. Join us at DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods and grab yourself a front row seat. Download the app today to get started with our latest offer.
The Yes app is putting the Brooklyn Nets in the palm of your hand. Named Best Mobile Video App, the Yes app is your digital destination for streaming live Nets games. Feed your fandom with features like the Yes Watch Party. Win up to $10,000 for free with Yes Pick and Play, and get your fantasy picks in real time with live game stats. Plus, stream daily highlights and post-game interviews anytime, anywhere. Score big with the Nets on your mobile device. Download the Yes app now. With you on Yes. So great to be back here. Oh yeah, he can do it all. You bet that will do it. Star-studded matchup here on Yes.
Watch new episodes of Brooklyn Nets Magazine every month on Yes, or stream anytime on the Yes app.
Sharon back here for the Michael K. Show. The New York Rangers won their second game in a row. They needed overtime to take out the Anaheim Ducks. Johnny Brodzinski started the scoring for New York, as we just saw, and then later in the game with the Ducks up 3-2. Weird. Chris Kreider? A power play goal? No way. way. He tied it at 3. He leads the league in power play goals and is now tied for second in overall goals with the Oilers' Leon Draisaitl. Less than a minute into OT, Adam Fox wins it. He is third amongst defensemen in points. Back to Kreider, though. That goal he scored was his 39th overall and his 400th career point. They grow up so fast, don't they? The next 4 games for the Blue Shirts will all be challenging as they host the Islanders, then travel to the first-place Hurricanes, then they go to New Jersey and wrap up the stretch against the Penguins.
Hey, New York, what are you waiting for? Cover 5 is free to play, so sign up today and change the way you watch the tournament. It's free. Join Cover 5 Madness for free at cover5.com and the Cover 5 app for your chance to win cash each day. You don't have to risk anything. Nothing. The best scorer each day wins $1,000, and the best overall score tomorrow through Sunday is going to win $10,000. So use promo code NY to sign up now. Pick 5 teams against the spread each day. Join listeners everywhere with Cover 5 Madness on the Cover 5 app or at cover5.com. Cover 5, beat the spread and score more points. Use promo code NY today. Do it. It's free. Win 10 grand, not put up anything. Amazing. Love it.
I love it.
So Deep Blue Marine said, don't be so quick to trade Voit. First, someone is sure to get hurt. Second, as of right now, Rizzo will not be able to play the first week. Well, that's a problem in its own, but you're not keeping Luke Voit for that express purpose. And if you keep Luke Voit and he doesn't play at all and no one gets hurt, then his value goes completely.
Michael.
Right now, with the National League having a DH, I think he has value. I think he has pretty decent value. He can hit, man. I know he gets hurt, but Luke Voit can hit the ball out.
No, he can. But he's going to be traded. He's not going to sit there. There's no place for him to play.
No, it doesn't make sense. You can't carry a guy on the bench that can only play first base and DH and not pinch run.
Listen, and you're going to need your DH because there's going to be times if you're going to have Stanton in the field, that means that gives Judge a chance to DH, so he doesn't have the wear and tear. Voigt's going to be gone. And Michael, I would think the Yankees are smart enough not to give a 2-year, $32 million contract to a player that might not be available to them for half the year. So
more than half.
I would guess that Rizzo is vaccinated or will be vaccinated, more so than they're just hoping, crossing their fingers and toes, that it's going to be lifted on opening day. So I would think they must believe he'll get vaccinated.
Let's go to the phones. Let's see what you're thinking. Let's go to James in Staten Island. James.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Love you guys.
Thanks, man.
So I wanted to talk about a little bit around the infield, at least with Rizzo. I feel like Yankee fans last year, at the end of the year, would have been ecstatic to have him back. It's just the point, too, that we had Freeman dangled in front of us that we possibly could have had him. So
and Olsen.
That's not a big deal. Yes. And Olsen, I agreed with you, though, in the past where you've talked about that Cashman wouldn't want to give up prospects for him.
Right.
So that's why I thought Freeman made sense. Now, the whole thing, too, with DJ, I'm seeing projected lineups with him just being a utility guy and having Torres at second. I think that's completely wrong. I understand that he had injury problems last year, but he is the little engine that goes. As for us having a leadoff hitter, every time that DJ was healthy, that's when the Yankees were scoring runs. That's when we were getting things started.
But Aaron Boone has pretty much said he's going to be an everyday player, but without a position. So, I mean, they're going to get DJ.
Well,
again,
yeah,
I want to see Aaron Boone do it because, are you banking on Donaldson playing just 120 games?
Donaldson also, I feel like, is like the MO that we used to have toward the fact of getting a veteran guy that's a former MVP, that he's past his prime. I know he put up good numbers last year, and he does have injury issues, and this kind of stuff does take care of itself. I also feel like Voit, yes, 100%, have to get rid of him, especially with the way that he was very vocal last year of how he wanted the position, he understood. But now, I don't think so. I think it's just be toxic for the locker room.
Also, it just doesn't fit. I mean, as much as I like Luke Voit, it doesn't fit. You can't have a limited guy who is not a great first baseman and can just DH. It's not a proper. You got to use your bench pieces wisely. People that can play all over the place. People that can can pinch run or things like that. And is Luke really a great pinch hitter? It's not a good bench piece. He's got to play.
No, he's got to play.
In fairness to him, he has to play. Now, as for DJ. people seem to forget when they signed him first from the Rockies, and they always thought he was a really good hitter. Now, he finished in the top 4 in the MVP those first 2 years. They signed him as a utility guy that was going to play every day. Utility is not the right word to use because you think of that smallish guy who can't hit. They want to get him 500 at-bats all around the infield. Maybe DH some days because they want to play Stanton maybe 2 or 3 times a week in the outfield, and Stanton wants to do that. So if Donaldson plays 135 games at third base, that means that there's 27 games there for LeMahieu. If you want to give IKF a rest, then you move Gleyber Torres over to shortstop, and you let him play. You let LeMahieu play second base. If you want to give Rizzo off against some left-handers, and you play LeMahieu at first. They think they could have him in the lineup every single day. And if you look back at the clips, go back, look online. That was their plan when they signed him from Colorado. He was going to play every day but opening day because the starters are the starters. That might be the case this year too. And I also still believe there's an outside chance that they could trade Torres, and then DJ LeMahieu would be your everyday second baseman. Outside chance, because you can't get true value for Torres. I mean, can you get anywhere near the value you could have gotten him when you traded him when he hit 38 home runs? No. You could get some value. I think he'd be valuable to teams, but maybe the Yankees think that's still in there too.
Now, how much leverage do you lose on trading Voit when everybody in the league knows you don't have a place for him? Or do they just look and say, I know what he can do, and I'll give you true value? Or do you get held up because you're basically trading a player that everybody in the league knows you got no spot for him?
Well, I think you'll get held up, Don, if there's just one team. But I think there's going to be a lot of teams that want Luke Voit. The guy can play. The guy led the league in homers 2 years ago. Led majors in homers. So it's not like he's some flotsam and jetsam piece. I mean, would they get top equal value? I don't know, but I don't think they're going to get ripped off.
No, I don't think they get ripped off. But, he led the league in home runs in a 60-game season. I don't think he's a guy that's going to lead the league in home runs.
He can lead the league in home runs if he stays healthy. That's a big if. He's got that sort of power, but he has not been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Let's go to Michael in Manhattan. Michael.
Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Hi. You guys complain constantly about Twitter. I send you the nicest tweets. You never respond because I don't have any followers.
Michael, no, I don't respond to anybody. If you can find me over the last 6 months responding to someone on Twitter, I don't do it.
But you respond on the air.
I respond on the air if you say something.
Don responds.
Well, Don's a different. I don't respond on Twitter. I don't want to get into the cesspool.
I want to know what the nice tweet was.
That you did a great job calling a Ranger game.
What was the handle? Give me your handle.
It's Mr. _ Kaufman.
Mr. Kaufman.
Plus, I do all the time. I tell you that your lists are great, that I enjoy them, that Peter responded to me once.
See?
But, Michael, I don't respond to anybody. So if you see me responding to somebody else, then you could get upset. I don't respond on Twitter. I don't engage. Sorry. I mean, do you send me nice things so that I can answer you back? I mean, sometimes I'll like it if I see it.
Hold on, but
that's the most I'll respond.
But in his defense, what he's saying is you call out people on the air sometimes for saying something nasty. Why don't you call out anyone who says something nice?
You know why? Because if I read something that somebody said, gee, Michael, you're the greatest, I look like the biggest nozzle of all time. I'm going to read things that people say nice? No, I'm going to read things that people say nasty. People don't want to hear me complimenting myself. That's ridiculous, Peter.
Well, I had to present, but that's a great response.
Listen, I get a lot of people that compliment my work.
Of course they do. It's beautiful work.
Or the play-by-play. The Rangers won in overtime. And I feel funny liking them because then it comes back up that I'm sending out a tweet. But I want to acknowledge somebody that says something nice to me. Sometimes I'll respond, but sometimes I'll look at it and then I'm like, I'm going to respond to the guy, and then you kind of forget. So I do feel bad. I want to try to get back. I want to try to get back to everybody who says something nice or sends that. But we got a lot of followers, not to brag, and we get a lot of tweets, especially during the show. And sometimes some slip through the cracks, so we apologize.
But really, what's the intent though? Just to be thanked for telling us we're great? Is that the intent? Or do you just want to send that message out there in the ether? I don't know. So you just want to be loved back? Well, I feel sorry because a lot of people send me tweets with questions. I said it 6 or 7 months ago. I am never going to respond to tweets. I'm just not. I'll read them maybe, but I'm not responding.
Thank you for being such a
What's your
gentleman.
motivation, though? You want to be stroked? Is that it? So you're stroking me so I could stroke you back? No, this is not a stroke fest.
No, it certainly isn't. Let's relax.
No. I'm just looking through his Twitter right now. And it has nothing to do. If I've got to say, I don't care if you got one follower. I don't care if you got an egg. If you say something nice and I do have the time, I'll try to respond. But Michael makes an excellent point. Are you fishing for a compliment? Those classic people that throw you a compliment, not because they really enjoy your work, but the hope is that you'll respond with, oh, I enjoy your work too. You're really good at what you do as well. Like, so, right. Are you just, because if you just want to send out like, hey, Don, great job on the call last night, well, then you don't need a response, right? But are you fishing for a thank you or a follow?
Well, yesterday,
what's the motivation?
Yesterday, someone commented, I don't know, Andrew, I don't know if you saw this. They commented, like last night, I was reading all of the nice comments about the Drop Madness podcast, and someone is like, they basically have to comment like, no Michael or Don, why should I listen to this or something like that.
I saw that, yeah. That was a salient point.
And I retweeted and said, LOL, okay, don't listen. You know, my thought process being, we stayed after work yesterday to do a bonus show for people who want it. If you don't like what's on it, don't listen to it. I wasn't that mad, but I was just pointing it out. I mean, this guy went off on me afterwards and pointed out that I don't respond to nice things. And I'll just be honest. Yeah, it is a bummer. I like a lot of nice things. I am more motivated, sadly, by nasty things. I wish I was better than that. I'm not. It's just where I am. God's still working on me. I'm sorry.
You are not better than that. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. From kiosks and betting windows to a live ticker and digital odds boards, placing a bet has never been easier. Come join us and grab yourself a front row seat. Download the app to get started.
I tried a laxative that's both gentle and fast.
Great tasting Dalgalac Soft Chews works naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. Puts you comfortably in control. Dalgalac Soft Chews.
A Ford built for you, by you. Get yours. Built from the ground up with your choice of colors, wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want a head-up display and escape, 7 GOAT modes in Bronco Sport, or a Ranger with best-in-class gas torque? You got it. And now get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. See your local Ford store for a Ford built for you, by you. Custom build your new Ford truck or SUV and get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. View special lease and financing deals at buyfordnow.com.
When you order carryout online from Domino's, you're no longer just a customer. You're a delivery driver. Delivering a delicious order of Domino's to yourself. And we believe every great delivery driver deserves a tip. So we'll tip you $3 to use on your next order.
What was that?
Domino's tipped me $3.
That's not what I meant.
Get tipped when you order carryout online. Only at Domino's.
Watch new episodes of Brooklyn Nets Magazine every month on Yes, or stream anytime on the Yes app. Tonight, Brooklyn's push for the NBA playoffs ramps up against one of the best in the West. Good night! Durant and the Nets. Luka Doncic and the Mavs.
Nasty.
It's a matchup of elite NBA talent that will leave you screaming, Yes! Nets versus Mavericks. Live coverage starts tonight at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app.
Did you know half of all cats in the United States don't see a vet on a regular basis? Hi, I'm Kat Dennings, and I love cats. Like, really, really love them. Seriously. That's why I'm here to ask you to take your cat to the vet each and every year. I'm working with Royal Canin and Orphan Kitten Club in their program, Mighty Cat, the first grant program in the world to protect and care for newborn kittens. For the Take Your Cat to the Vet initiative, which encourages cat owners across the country to schedule annual vet visits.
Since it's tricky to decode our cat's behavior, it's super important to collaborate with your veterinarian to uncover any potential illnesses and learn the signs that something could be wrong.
As pet owners, it's our responsibility to make sure cats of all ages have a chance to live a full and happy life by providing the care they need and deserve.
Visit orphankittenclub.org/mightycat to learn more.
10 years ago, we started Untuckit out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
We started Warby Parker to make glasses more affordable. But then we thought, why can't we do the same thing to contacts? So we did. Shop top contacts brands without the hidden fees, plus get free shipping and save 15% on your first order of contacts at warbyparker.com. When it comes to contacts, Warby Parker offers dozens of brands, including Scout, our very own comfortable, breathable, and affordable daily lens. Learn more about Scout or save 15% on your first order of contacts at warbyparker.com.
And New York City wins the first MLS Cup on their first try!
To make the most of March on FanDuel Sportsbook, you really gotta believe. You might believe in live betting or parlays. Feels good, don't it, to believe?
And the lead has evaporated.
But there comes a point where even the biggest believers stop believing. And that's cool too, because with cash out on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can leave a bet anytime you think it's going south. Like I said, you gotta believe to win in March. Until you don't. Both work.
New customers bet $5 and instantly get a $150 site credit bonus guaranteed.
Hungry for a binge watch?
I'm ready to eat, yes.
Feast on the first season of Home Plate New York on the Yes app.
Your journey, your story.
Pull up a chair and chow down.
Manja, manja, manja.
With Chef Marcus Samuelson and some of New York's biggest stars.
Unity, man, bringing everyone together. This show is all about celebrating New York. Incredible, great diversity in our city.
It just reminds me so much of growing up.
Stream the entire season of Home Plate New York exclusively on the Yes app.
With you on Yes. So great to be back here. Oh yeah, he can do it all. You bet that will do it. Star-studded matchup here on Yes.
My goodness, Kevin Durant.
Nothing is too tough for KD.
Kevin Durant, cold-blooded.
The most ridiculous offensive talents that this league has ever seen.
This is 98.7 ESPN Hoops Update brought to you by Superbook Sports. Place your bets at Superbook Sports. They will match you dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Visit superbook.com to get signed up and place that bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We have two play-in games today. I guess, what do we call them? The first four? It's Bryant against Wright State at 6:40 p.m. on True TV. And then a 9:10 start, Notre Dame, Rutgers. These games are in Dayton. So a doubleheader also on True TV. ND Rutgers promises a nude Chris Carlin at some point if Rutgers wins the game. And also, for those that have listened to the show for all these years, former 98.7 ESPN talent John Rothstein is doing the sidelines for tonight's games on True TV.
Awesome.
On
I'm
TV.
so happy for him, man.
He's doing well, huh?
He is one of the only people that I consider a friend, genuinely enjoy his company, but on a daily basis, actually, I'm holding my finger out to unfollow him.
Wow.
Go ahead.
He's a little much how much he loves college basketball.
You know,
I
listen to tweets, and it could be like, I remember when the whole Joe Paterno thing broke, and it's all anybody was talking about on Twitter. He's telling us that Texas Tech has moved their guard to forward. Like, dude, I get you love college basketball, and you made it work for you.
He really has.
I'm good.
But didn't you also get upset with him last week because someone in his building complained about an SWAC game that he was screaming about at 3 in the morning?
Yeah, come on. What are you doing? I mean, I get you love it, but
you got to love it to be an expert at it.
No, and again, I'm not begrudging him. You know,
sounds like you are. Does it sound like he is?
It sounds like mild begrudging.
No, because I'll tell you why. All righty? I will say I love hockey as much as he loves college basketball.
That's right. Sure you do.
But do I need to tell the world about it?
Not constantly. But listen, and if I'm him, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's working out for him. But, and again, I don't need to know about, who Texas Tech recruited, in the middle of a natural disaster or something.
But he doesn't care what you think.
But like to describe to me, though, he's screaming at 3 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I get it.
All right, so a little bit of net news coming out today as well. So Seth Curry is out again tonight against the Mavericks, next with the second game of back-to-back. According to Nick Friedel, the Nets are hoping that he plays Friday. Barbara Barker of Newsday reporting that Steve Nash just revealed that Ben Simmons had an epidural while the team was in Orlando. That's never good.
Wait, that's not good at all.
No, that's not good.
Epidural.
So you might not see Ben Simmons this year.
Well,
why did he have an epidural? Hold on.
His back has been bothering him.
But didn't they get, when they made the trade, didn't they get his medicals? Didn't they get to give him a physical or something to find out what his condition was?
Well, he's had back problems a couple of times, but you're also trying to ramp up a guy in a hurry who hasn't played since last June. Andrew, he had some back problems with the Sixers, right?
Earlier this year, that was one of the reasons that was listed as to why he wasn't playing.
Nash said the hope is that it helps him get on the floor sooner. Okay. That's not good. That's not good. And if he doesn't play, boy, does that Harden, the Harden deal getting him from Houston looks terrible.
Well, not right away, because he will play at some point.
But it looks terrible this year.
No, it looks terrible, but it's not like he's a free agent. Now, you could turn around and have him play amazingly next year and they compete for a championship, and then it's wonderful again. Philadelphia's got the pressure on them, I think, this year. They're a high seed to begin with before they even made it. I think they were, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, they were the one seed when they made the deal.
They weren't that high.
But why do they have pressure? The guy wasn't going to play for them. They got the best deal they could possibly get. They got a great player for him. He wasn't playing for them ever.
But there's still pressure for it to work.
More pressure on the Nets.
Because
Michael's right. Philly was already really good when they made the deal. They were already playing to, Andrew, you would say they'd already been playing at least to expectations before the deal, no?
I would say a little beyond expectations.
That's what I would.
But they were not the one
seed.
They were kind of fluctuating between 3, 5, somewhere in there.
So they're already in a good spot when they make the deal. They know for a fact this guy is never going to play with them again. They're able to get one of the best players in the game back, and they lost a couple of good role players. But really, all they lost was a couple of good role players because Simmons was never going to play for them again.
Ever.
So they got that he was a nothing for them. So they lose Andre Drummond and Seth Curry, and they get one of the best players in basketball who's now showing up motivated and playing like what you think he can play like. So, man, a lot of people thought Brooklyn got the win. If this turns out to be true, and you don't get to see Simmons this whole year try to contribute to a championship, particularly when they're down Kyrie in Brooklyn, that's an abject failure.
But wait a minute. But both teams were in a situation where they had to make a deal. Like the Nets, Harden was demanded to get the deal. They had to make the deal, and then the Sixers had to make their deal. So they both did what they had to do. So now it's, all right, where are you? All right, the Nets are way down in the bottom of the conference in the playoffs trying to fight up. Sixers were at the top. Now they add one of the best players. And if Simmons doesn't play, yeah, it's a disaster for the Nets. But if the Sixers don't win with Harden, and then Harden pulls like, I want to get out of Philadelphia again, man, there's pressure on both. But you made the case there's more pressure on Philly because I think they're in better shape with a healthy Harden to win the championship.
But I disagree with you because they weren't winning a championship with Ben Simmons sitting on the bench and never playing for them. So they recovered nicely, and I give them credit. They waited and waited and waited and got a great player back. Now, the Nets could have told James Harden, you're staying here, and you could opt out at the end of the year, but you're staying here and you're playing, and the Nets would have been in better shape than having an injured Ben Simmons not be able to play.
But again, you're judging it all. Why are we judging it all on this year? Even if Simmons doesn't play, he will eventually play. And if you get the mandates lifted, you go into next year with a healthy KD, Kyrie able to play every game, and maybe a healthy Simmons. You don't think that that's part of the deal as well? And then who knows what Harden does at the end of this year? Right? He didn't sign the extension.
Also, you know what? I don't like this argument, Don. I don't think they're in an apples-to-apples situation because, frankly, I think the Harden situation was a lot more manageable than Simmons.
Yeah, but you don't know what he was going to end up doing if he didn't get traded. What did he get, like 1 point in the last game he played?
Yeah, I feel like they're – listen, we know that the Simmons thing was completely over and done. He showed it. He actually showed it. He didn't play for 50 games. He just sat there. I think in the case of Harden, they could have gotten him back to the drawing board and had a conversation. But then again, none of us actually really know what was happening with that team internally.
Yeah.
Now, Anthony Greek reminds me, I don't know why this is so important to Anthony. He's the producer on the Yes side. He reminds me that Iona is at the Swamp tonight taking on Florida at 9 p.m. on ESPN2 in the NIT.
That's an NIT vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, were you surprised?
And Rick Pitino is one of the few coaches that's still wearing suits and ties.
Were you surprised St. John's didn't at least get into the NIT?
Yes, I was. Maybe they were ticked off because they turned them down last year. They didn't want to be in the NIT. This year they wanted to host, and the NIT said, no. You're not even playing, okay? Okay? How's E&M coming, Peter?
Oh, it's a beaut.
Is it really good?
And it's cherry.
What does that mean?
Oh, come on.
What is
really?
It's like a 1986 Camaro.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. You never heard that before, Michael?
But not in that context. I've heard that word used.
Listen,
You've never
It's an odd way to describe it, but you know what? I walk away knowing how he feels about it.
Exactly. And you're ready.
Okay, let's wait to see if he's overselling. That's next, right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
With Volkswagen, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the joyful 2022 Taos. Limited inventory available.
DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Here you really can have it all. From self-service kiosks and betting windows to a live sports ticker and digital odds boards, placing a bet has never been easier. And with a 50 by 30 foot LED screen and over 200 tables to eat, drink, and enjoy, we're bringing the game to you. Join us at DraftKings Sportsbook at Foxwoods and grab yourself a front row seat. Download the app today to get started with our latest offer.
Hey guys, face it, you're no mechanic and cars are only getting more complicated and expensive to fix. If you'd have called CarShield, you wouldn't be staring at your engine for an hour. If your car's out of warranty, one call to CarShield could save you thousands on car repairs. No joke. CarShield's administrators have saved drivers over $1 billion in car repairs. I'm telling you, you gotta call CarShield. The best defense against getting hit by expensive repair bills.
Don't get stuck with an expensive repair bill. Call CarShield and save now. CarShield has coverage for most makes and models, new and used, from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. Your coverage includes unlimited mileage, 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental reimbursement at no additional cost. Call 800-992-7139.
When my car broke down, I took it back to the dealership that I got it from, and with CarShield, they fixed it in no time. If it wasn't for CarShield, I wouldn't be driving my car right now. CarShield administrators saved me $5,000 on my rear differential.
With car warranties in the past, their job was to take your money and find ways not to pay out. As soon as my car broke down, CarShield jumped into action, and I had my car back within days.
CarShield offers affordable, pay-as-you-go monthly plans that offer you protection from expensive breakdowns.
Listen, with affordable, pay-as-you-go monthly plans, nationwide coverage, and unlimited miles, calling CarShield is the call you need to make. You have better things to spend your money on. Don't blow it on car repairs. Call CarShield before it's too late.
I definitely recommend you guys give CarShield a call. If you're sitting at home and you do have a used vehicle and then you go down the road and you know how expensive repairs are, without them, you're going to be coming out of pocket.
Get protection now against expensive auto repair bills. Call CarShield for a free protection plan quote. Once your car breaks down, it's too late. Call 800-992-7139. 800-992-7139. 800-992-7139.
The game is connection, opportunity, where we find confidence and community. But not everyone gets the same shot. And we should all have the right to experience the gift of the game.
Come on, first aid.
Yeah, let's go! On a trip. Book with Priceline. You save more so you can woo more. Woo. Yeah, feel the savings. Priceline. Every trip is a big deal.
It's March, and you know what that means. College basketball, baby. This year, don't wait until the whole bracket plays out for your payout. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you can win cash on any game. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 if they move on. Doesn't matter if it's #1 seed or a double-digit seed. If they win, you win. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up with the promo code. Bet $5 to win $200 on any college hoops team and make it rain.
I'm Patty Mills.
Thunder from down under. Patty Cakes is baking.
Patty Melt stays hot.
Patty Mills, good day, mate.
With Volkswagen, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the versatile 2022 Tiguan. Limited inventory available.
For every sport, there's a business behind the sport.
The total of that plus operation was $100,000 a day.
Forbes Sports Money goes inside the numbers.
I took the deal in equity.
To explore the financial side of the game.
It's been very successful for us.
Forbes Sports Money. New episodes every month right here on Yes.
Hello. How you doing? I'm good. We're good. Nice. Hi. Welcome to ENN. It's
on TV.
It's brought to you by DoorDash. Download the DoorDash app right now and start exploring some of the best New York has to offer. DoorDash. Get more from your neighborhood. Huh? Huh?
Huh?
Let's say good evening to Michael.
So you're stroking me so I could stroke you back? No, it's not a stroke fest. See, one of the things that Andrew said on the podcast is, when people step on the drop, it ruins it. So Don couldn't help stepping, bigfooting on the drop. So now it'll never be.
I think I ruined it.
Somebody big. So you're stroking me so I could stroke you back? No, it's not a stroke fest.
That's me.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That's me going,
I'm sorry,
excuse
Don.
me.
I apologize, Don.
It needed to be said, though. Let's say good evening to Don.
Michael's region, very strong.
Let's say good evening to myself. God's still working on me. I'm sorry. And lastly, good evening to all of us.
He's not a likable guy.
Who, Ryan?
Who, Rucco?
No, Kyrie.
Oh. And good evening to Russell Wilson.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh, my God. Bring the awkward. The awkward show is on the move.
Nobody brings the awkward like Russell.
He brings it, right?
And don't get me wrong, because I get this a lot on social media that we don't like him or it reflects poorly on his quarterback play. No. Great guy, great quarterback, good looking.
Clearly a great quarterback.
And great looking couple.
I mean, he has a beautiful partner, child, stepchild. His child and stepchild. He's doing great, but he's very awkward. Let's spend a moment on the greatness of Kyrie Irving yesterday. And let's hear from Jay Will on KJM earlier talking about just how great Kyrie was.
I watched Kyrie since St. Patrick's High School in New Jersey with Kevin Boyle when they were one of the top teams in the nation. And I said, this dude is something so different. The game hasn't seen what his package is. And last night was a prime example. Part-time, a quarter of the time, it's the time when he's on the court that is special to watch because last night was different.
Yeah, he's right.
He was absolutely unbelievable. For the second,
I don't want to overstate it, Peter, but watching him is scintillating.
Oh, my God, Michael, you're too much.
If you're a basketball fan, it's scintillating watching him play.
I'm good.
He was
scintillating.
20 of 31. 8 of 12 from 3. 12 of 13 from the line. 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 60 points, plus 36 on the floor last night. Don, I know you're getting turned off by Michael's language choice.
Scintillating.
But my God, man, he's unreal.
And we can make fun of Orlando being a G League team, but that G League team beat the Knicks twice at the Garden.
What a crazy... It's the efficiency that he does it with. I mean, Michael, what was the last 50-point game he had a couple weeks ago, what was he, 15 of 20 that night?
They're very efficient. And how about the NBA? 2 straight nights, 60-point games. 1 Karl Anthony Towns and Kyrie Irving. It's beautiful for Jersey. 2 jerseys.
Yeah, I was going to say, big Jersey week.
Got 150 points. Tell me there isn't going to be a game where a team scores 200.
There's not going to be a game where a team scores.
You keep saying that.
It's except the All-Star game. That would be the only one.
I'm telling you. You're going to see late in the season.
Michael, what do you think? You with me?
I'm always with you, bud.
Here's the quarter breakdown, Don. 48, 38, 30, and 34.
Right.
And they landed at 150.
Now, they called off the dogs, obviously, in the second half, and Kyrie didn't play like the final 7 minutes. But let's say you get a better team. That game's a little bit more competitive where you can't afford to sit him. Or you get late in the year where you don't have to rest anybody saying, listen, I'm going to go.
But hear this. So take that number, 48, 38, 30, and 34, and let's up them all by 10. 58, 48, 40, and 44. That's still short of 200. It's tough. Michael, am I convincing you?
I'm convinced. It hasn't been done. I don't think it'll get done.
By the way, Don, you know what it is? You know what we have to be honest about, Michael? I don't know that Don respects the game of basketball.
No. When he said I'm good, when I said Kyrie scintillating.
Well, no, because I'm good
in the face
Michael,
of basketball.
Enough. Like I like candy, but you're pouring sugar down my throat, and I was having a seizure. You got to stop.
I'm watching. The guy is special.
Oh my God, Michael, you're too much. Oh, I wouldn't even think to turn it on. So we're not even on the same page.
Because you don't care about basketball. Right. Like I wouldn't turn on Wayne Gretzky then.
Right. And that's your loss. But if I sat there and started talking about Wayne Gretzky and throwing out words like scintillating, Michael, you'd want to throw up in your mouth and you move on to the next subject. Tell me I'm wrong, Peter.
You're wrong.
But Michael, I'll say this in defense of Michael. If someone says turn on ESPN, Wayne Gretzky has 5 goals, I think there's a chance he turns it on.
Yeah, I would. And also, I think I'm being very fair. I don't even like the guy. I don't like his whole act. But I think he's tremendous basketball player. One of the best ever.
No question there.
And by the way...
Why can't you just accept it, Dom? Why do you always have to fight me on everything?
And by the way...
Because you're going a little overboard, that's all. And I'm just speaking for the audience.
Did you watch one of the baskets yesterday?
I was calling a game.
Okay.
But I found more entertaining, quite frankly, and you didn't even think to turn it on. The fact that you're watching Nets Magic over Rangers Ducks, we've got nothing to say. We got nothing to say.
Now,
I support the Yes Network, my friend.
Well, now, you are the Yes Network.
The other day I was. The other day I was
important to the Yes Network than Hal.
What? What did you just say, Don?
You're more important to the Yes Network than Hal.
Hal owns the Yes Network.
I understand, but you're more important.
That?
I'm going to tell you why. And there's no offense to Hal, but tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I'm going to say right away
you put Michael on talking, people want more. At this rate, Hal comes on, they're turning it off.
People love when Hal's a guest on this show. Love it. He gets more positive press when he talks. I've told him you should be on the air more.
Yankee fans hate listen. I'm not criticizing Hal. I'm think the Yankee fan And I'm complimenting you at the same time.
No, don't. I don't need it.
Would you say that Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner at this moment are very popular with Yankee fans? That's my point.
On TV, I think they would still want to hear what they have to say.
Not more than you. I want to hear what you have to say. Unless the Yes Network.
So
unless you're treating Kyrie like a lollipop.
Okay.
Oh, my. See, Peter, you see?
No,
this is what the Zoom call is like.
Now, let's
flush it. This wasn't anything like
Let's
this
stay with the Nets. Let's stay with the Nets here for a second.
Treating him like a lollipop. What a filthy image.
Ramona Shelburne reporting. Brooklyn Nets All-Star Ben Simmons has remained sidelined with an irritation of the L4 disc of the lower spine, and hope remains he can return for a, quote, couple of regular season games prior to the playoffs.
That's good news.
Story soon.
Why can't we spin that as good news? They're not really going anywhere. They can't get out of the play-in, right, Michael?
It'd be very tough. There's a chance, but it'd be very tough.
Right. And why would you, at this rate, want to fight for home court in that play-in? So if he can get a couple of games under his belt and be ready for the postseason, can't we spin that as a positive?
But, I mean, now that that's down to couple, that's pretty not great.
Now, for those that didn't go to medical school like I did, an epidural is an injection for back pain.
And then Karen Veemstra says, wait, a spinal tap or an epidural? Epidural is just making you numb, and it works wonders, let me tell you.
I don't know why. No one had ever said it was a spinal tap. So I'm going to have to push back against Karen. We never uttered the word spinal tap.
Great movie, though.
Oh. Mommy's money. I just want to spin things positive for the Nets here, is what I'm saying to you.
So here's what you've done in these first 12 minutes of ENN. You pitted me against the guy who owns the network. Really smart and good for me,
how did
too.
I do that?
Michael Kay. People would rather hear Michael Kay than Hal Steinberg, who owns the network.
I'm just speaking facts.
No, you know what? But these things don't help, okay? Maybe it's time for me to go.
Don't help who? Don't help who?
Don't help anybody.
Why would someone get mad at you for something that I said?
Because I'm responsible for you people.
I love that. Because that was like every meeting we had with old management at ESPN. Why did you let Michael say that?
Like we're marionettes for each other.
I was just trying to throw a compliment to my guy, Peter, and he can't accept it.
Yeah, but you put it.
You know where I'm going, Peter?
Yeah, it's a compliment that puts him in a weird spot, though.
Yeah, you're such a jackwagon.
Now you mentioned the game yesterday, the Rangers game. That is, let's hear Don's call of the end of that Rangers game.
Rebound taken by Zibanejad. Passed over to Panarin. Here comes Panarin with Fox. Possible 2-on-1. Panarin with the moves to Fox. Who scores? Adam Fox. Rangers win 4-3.
I think that would have been really, Don, that was the perfect opportunity for a great Jewish reference. Adam Fox lights the menorah. People would have said, sure, Hanukkah's 3 months ago, but still.
It would have them talking.
That's a great call. I got to tell
Thank you.
That was your first game back, right?
No, it's my first game at the Garden. It was my third game back.
Wait, your third play-by-play game back?
Yes.
I'm a terrible guy.
Now, did you... this is a terrible question. You stand up when you broadcast, right?
Yes.
When you saw that breakaway happening, did you start to get feelings?
No. There's no... ever... and under no circumstances ever associate sports with those types of feelings.
Really?
I'm the person that thinks that they shouldn't have cheerleaders.
Right, you don't want any association.
I don't get it.
You don't understand why Jerry Jones has cheerleaders in Dallas.
I don't really either.
No.
Really?
We never watch football. I'm in football mode. I don't. And again, no offense, they do a great job. They're all excellent dancers and all that. The flight crew with the Jets, terrific job. I don't get when you're at a football game. When you love football, I got to sprinkle that in.
When you were doing pre and post for the Jets,
yes,
you would walk past the flight crew and say you shouldn't be here. You'd make them feel uncomfortable.
Well, I never would say that. I had no say.
I mean, you
and
can
again,
make your
it's
opinion
different.
known.
No, it's different. We're doing the pregame. So if during a commercial break, when there's nothing to look at, if they want to have dancers, then that's fine for the people that hang out. But when you're watching a football game, like I don't get the association. I get in high school, it's like get everybody involved. So guys play football, you'd have cheerleaders, like everybody's involved. But if I'm paying all this money and I'm a diehard Jet or Giant fan, that's why I love the fact the Giants never had cheerleaders, and I go to a game, like, is that, Peter, do you sit there and go, boy, I want to see a cheerleader? Or are you analyzing and thinking about the next play?
Can I tell you why you're 1,000% wrong?
Well, how can I be wrong with preference?
Because the cheerleaders are not there to divert your attention. If you're bored, I mean, there's so much dead time in a football game, you could look at the cheerleaders if you'd like. Do you lock into the schematic or who's talking during a timeout?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's a diversion because
how about
there's so much
communicating
dead
with the people
time.
you go to the game with and talk about the game or what they might do when we come back from commercial break? I just don't see the association. I really don't see.
I do like when they have the lady who comes out and she rides a unicycle and throws plates on her head. I'm into that. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys?
Oh, I'm very aware. Obviously, we've tapped into some of your dreams.
And so there's tons of female football fans. They don't get any entertainment?
Well, I mean, they could be entertained by dancing, too.
It's dancing.
It's not a strip show.
Right.
It's not a chip.
You're throwing dollar bills. You're not making it rain. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. What we're enjoying, what's distracting us, what's killing the time before the next play, is the dancing.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Well, then I completely take it all back. I'm sorry. I completely misread the situation, and I didn't realize that it was guys and dolls.
Guys, this is an important moment. I'd like to say this 98.7 ESPN Hoops update is brought to you by Superbook Sports. Place your bets at Superbook Sports, where they will match you dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Visit superbook.com to get signed up and place the bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And for this Hoops update, we can tell...
See,
it's unreal.
All the things that I've done to make you feel uncomfortable today, which was all done for you, by the way. That was worse than anything I've done today. Anything. Not even close.
If I fumble on any word, he makes a comment, sends a text.